Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Really do appreciate your time. Tonight, we are talking about the Siders family out of Ohio, and we're going a little bit deeper and what raises newfound questions and separate questions at that. Most people have already been following the case about Elizabeth Siders and how young she was reportedly when she entered into a relationship and marriage. But now we have found others in the family, in the extended Siders family, that involve young teenagers. We're going to get into all of that and a lot more on the other side of this.
I've walked through storms in scars and grace, smile through pain with a painted face.
Sing it.
They called me too loud, too much, too strong, but honey, that's the reason I belong. Every scar's a scripture, every tear's a hymn. I found my worth where the light grew dim. They tried to break me, but here's a twist. I turned my pain into a clenched fist. I'm an unbreakable woman, born of fire and pearl. I shine like grace in a reckless world. You can test my faith, you can shake my plan, but I'll rise again. Just watch me stand. Judged by the gloss, not the cost. But God don't build weak hearts from gold. He made me fierce and he made me bold. I bend, I pray, I roar, I rise with mascara, tears and battle cries. Don't need your crown, I forge my own. From ashes, honey, I build my throne. I'm an unbreakable soul, dressed in truth and pearls. The fire don't scare me, it lights my world. You can doubt my voice, but you'll hear my name. I'm holy and hood, and I'm done with shame. For everyone called too much, too loud, too real. You're not to anything. You're exactly what power looks like. I'm an unbreakable soul, through the fight and flame. My scars are stories, my strength, my faith. Faith in my heart, fire in my curls, forever divine. Clutch them pearls.
Hold up, lights on, chat in the room, another late night and another headline blooming. Coffee gone cold, but the story got heat, and one little detail keep tapping my screen. Coming in clutch, when the timeline bends, we don't just scroll, we connect loose ends. Somebody said nah, that's probably enough, but the chat said Justin, we're coming in clutch. Run that back, don't rush that part, something fell wrong from the very first start. Different day, same shaky excuse, and the math ain't mathin' when we check the proof. I'm not here to play detective for fame, I'm here when the story starts changing names. One clip, one call, one post too much, and the whole room knows we're coming in clutch. Coming in clutch, yeah, the facts stay loud. Truth don't hide when we bring the crowd. Screens lit up and the chat don't sleep. We dig real deep where the stories get steep. Pearls in the chat, lights in the back. Somebody better explain why the story went flat. You could dodge one question, maybe dodge two.
Maybe
With the
dodge
internet
two.
clock, what you said don't cue. Wait. Say that again, you said it was there, then it wasn't back then. You said you forgot, but the record got saved. Now the chat's wide awake and the room just changed.
Coming in clutch when it all gets strange, when the facts get buried and the tone starts change. We don't need drama, the truth does enough, that's why they pull up, we're coming in clutch.
Late night crew, yeah, we built this thing. One live stream turned to a whole damn ring. Members in green miles holding it down. Whole chat moving like a small town crowd. No fake hype, no lazy spin, just one more clue when we're back back again. If it don't sit right, we don't let it slide. We put the detail right up on live.
Coming in clutch, say it one more time. Whole room locked on the very next line. From the first red flag to the final touch, you know where to be, we're coming in clutch.
When the screen fades out and the night gets still, somebody somewhere knows truth comes real. We'll be right here when the next facts drop. Coming in clutch and we don't just stop.
Hello, everyone. Good to see you all. Thank you all so much for joining me. Really do appreciate your time. You could have chosen to be anywhere on YouTube. You have a lot of options, anywhere on the internet, anywhere in the world, and you chose to be right here. I know your time is very valuable, and I do appreciate you spending some time with me. Today is July 17th, 2026. It is currently 10:49 p.m. in the East Coast of the United States. Yeah. Italian girl telling me to pull up girl. How you guys doing? So I did a live earlier and I said I'll be live in 5 minutes, and I went to go live in 5 minutes and I scheduled it for the wrong channel. So I had to delete it and start over. So yeah, oh, I got a little lipstick right there on my lip. Okay. Good to see you all. Thank you all so much for joining me. Before we get started, if you would be so kind and please do me a big favor and hit that thumbs up button, would greatly appreciate that. Also, if you would share this live stream out, hit that share button, copy that link, drop it in any of your favorite social media. And if you would consider hyping this video on YouTube, you get 3 hypes a week. And if you don't use it, you lose it. You have to do it after the live stream on any of your mobile devices, your phone, your tablet, all of that stuff. Talking about the Siders family, and we know that Elizabeth Siders got married and pregnant very young, very young. This is just a horrible situation, this entire case. It really is. Well, guess what? There's more in the family that got married pretty young, pretty young, and we're going to kind of go into all of that as well. I don't think any of my notifications just went out. I don't know what's going on. Okay, guys. In 2003 in Gillette County, 15-year-old Virginia Siders married Joshua Saunders. Virginia is the sister to Gary Siders Jr. and a daughter of Christina Lynn Siders, according to Facebook. Richard Siders passed away in 2025. And here is the couple. Right there. And there they are. How old was the sister when they married? Where was that? Let me see my notes. Let me see here. Oh, she was 14. He was 48. She was 14. He was 48. Y'all. And she's not the only one in the fam. Thank you, Italian, for sharing it out. Appreciate you, babe. Cheapskate, I happened to just start scrolling YouTube and this came across my feed. Thank you so much. I don't think my notifications went out because I didn't get to schedule it in advance, but it'll be all right. He should be ashamed. Well, he is dead now, but he could be her grandfather. Hell yes. 40. Hold on, what was it? He is 40. This is 48 when they married in 2002. She was 14. And this is Gary Siders Jr. Hold on, let me show this. Let me pull this up so y'all know a little bit more here. There's a lot to cover tonight, so we got a lot to go over here. Look at this. So, for those of you, what? 1 second. Right here. Look at this. I'm like, what the fuck? What with these people? So, here's the Siders family. This is Gary Siders on the bottom here. This is his sister. We're not done. There's more. But wait, there's more. Do they still not have laws in that state? Well, I've got some more information on that. As well. Here's more information according to, okay, 1 second. It seems that the children, okay. But that's something else we're going to get to. Let's go to News Nation. Guys, y'all just don't even, it's crazy. All right, so we're going to go, News Nation is reporting House of Horrors. Siders family had at least 3 teen marriages report. 3. But the guy's last name is Siders also. No. His last name is, what was it? His last name was Saunders. Saunders. Not to be confused with Siders. Not to be confused. All right, here we go.
Stories that we've been covering on this show, both since they broke, and we just got an update that might make it a little harder to now report on them. I'm talking first about the so-called Ohio House of Horrors, where the judge has gagged officials from discussing this case as far as it's related to Gary Siders Jr., one of the defendants, the apparent father to the 16 children who were reportedly found in a small room in a feces-covered, dilapidated house, barely able to communicate. Those are the allegations. LA Magazine contributor and friend of the show, Lauren Conlon, has been leading with her reporting on this story and obtained that order. Here is some of what it says. Quote, the court finds, given the publicity thus far, that any statements made to media by the Ohio Attorney General's office, the Vinton County Prosecutor's Office, Vinton County Clerk of Courts, and the Vinton County Sheriff's Office, and any party related to the investigation or prosecution of the alleged crimes, quite broad, including defense counsel, would create a reasonable likelihood of prejudicial pretrial publicity, which may impact the ability to impanel
So
impartial jury.
now,
So far it appears that the other 3 defendants, Gary.
So now, I think Christina's attorney is requesting a gag order, and others as well.
Jr.'s wife, Elizabeth Siders, the children's mother, and his parents, Christina and Gary Siders Sr., they don't share that same gag order. So maybe that could change?
Well, they were probably trying to see if there was, any evidence they could find, making sure there was no bodies in there, animals.
But the other big story that's facing a big roadblock has to do with this story of the mystery of a missing retired general. We'll talk about retired General William Neal McCaskey.
Oh, what? Is that not? Okay, here we go. We'll get to that in a second. 1 second. All right, here we go.
More missing third-party individuals. We regret that. For that, I turn to Lauren Conlon herself. Good to see you again, Lauren. Okay, made of questions here. I got to start with this gag order. First of all, explain to me why this was filed, why it was granted. And just to be clear, it's only for 1 defendant so far?
I literally, Jesse, refreshed all of the dockets of each defendant, and right now this gag order is only applied to Gary Siders Jr., which, in my opinion, really doesn't make any sense here. They're all charged with the same thing. If officials are going to be talking about the case, I mean, they're kind of talking about it, in a blanket way. I mean, each defendant, again, is charged with the same crimes, but specifically what his attorney cited when he filed.
So yeah, it does seem that way, cheapskate. It seemed. What happened to my thing? Oh, my internet's wonky. It seems like Siders seniors and wife like to marry off their teenagers. So I was yeah, it does. It does. I was going to make a point and I lost it because my thing is moving here and I don't know why. École. 1 second. Okay, I think we're good now. I look blurry. Yeah, it's my internet or something. It's kind of screwy right now. Hopefully it'll fix itself in just a second. What? I'll think of it in a second.
Almost feral, saying that they've seen livestock in better conditions, calling the home disgusting, filled with human feces, talking about some of the children.
That's what I was going to think. Okay, so the Siders family, right? Now, I was kind of feeling a little bit bad for Gary Siders Sr. I was kind of feeling a little bit bad because, I mean, he's not seemingly able to really help with his, his mental capacity and all that. But now that we know that Gary Siders Jr. and Gary Siders Sr., his sister that I just showed a minute ago, the siblings were married off really, really young, 14, all that. Should we be as sympathetic to him now? I don't really. It's kind of hard for me to be sympathetic if he's, literally marrying his kids off at 14. It makes me wonder what happened to him and them whenever they were teenagers. But he's older, he's in his 70s. It was a lot different back then.
Possibly dying if they weren't cared for in the next 24 hours. So he, like many defense lawyers, thought that this would prejudice a potential jury pool, and obviously that is correct.
Well, listen, I think Gary Jr. should be held, I'm going to get into the reason. I think that upcoming here in the program, but I think they all need to be held accountable. I think particularly, I have a little bit more compassion for Elizabeth.
It absolutely would. But, I've seen, again, that no other defendants have filed this, so I am very confused at why this makes a difference.
That may change when they see this. And it makes sense. I get that in a way, because this is a very unique case with very disturbing allegations. It's one thing for the media to report it, going to be a question of a change of venue, but to have the people involved in the case saying these things, I can get that argument.
That's the real victims.
Let me ask you about this. I understand you got your hands on these 2021 truancy complaints, okay? Right? And the big question has been, did anybody know about the kids? Were they going to school? What did you learn?
Yes, I did see these complaints, and look, the kids were reportedly not in school for a full school year, 2021 into 2022. And when the juvenile courts went to serve the Siders family, they couldn't. They could not locate.
So these kids were not in school for a full year, and we know that they tried to report, but they had already moved just enough to barely keep them alive.
Them. And I asked the courts if there were any follow-ups after this, or any follow-ups that I should be aware of, and they just said no. And what I find interesting also, under Ohio law, they also kind of create separate cases and actually name the children, and they're referred to as, quote, unruly children if they're not in school. It's kind of wild to me.
I read that the other day, and in Ohio on the documents, they do refer to the kids not going to school as unruly. I thought that was a little weird. I don't think it's not the kids' fault that they're not going to school. It's the unruly parents. It's not the unruly kids.
I'd never seen that before.
So just to be clear, they were listed as unruly children, but there was no follow-up by anybody to find out what was going on.
Yep.
No, and I do have the name of this school. I have reached out to several administrators at this school that I saw were there a few years ago. So Jesse, if I get some information, I'll be back to discuss. I also wanted to mention to you, I spoke to DoorDash, who also wanted to distance themselves from Gary Siders, as there was reports that he possibly did some deliveries for them. And
yeah, I would want to, it's not really good marketing. Respectfully, not really good marketing. Especially once we seen that car.
They were like, he did maybe 4 deliveries 2 years ago, and that's it. He was not an employee.
I'm sure.
Jesse. Jesse's like, I'm sure. Look at his face. I am sure. So, okay. We should have known he wouldn't hit a lick to work, but my question is now, if old dude down here, Junior, where were they making money? Where's the money? You make me chuckle. It was just funny, Jesse saying that. I need to replay that little part.
Themselves from Gary Siders, as there was reports that he possibly did some deliveries for them, and they were like, he did maybe 4 deliveries 2 years ago, and that's it. He was not an employee.
I'm sure they want to distance themselves based on these allegations. Okay, let's talk about General McCaslin. So your FOIA request was denied. First of all, what were you asking for?
I mean, I was asking for any and all records that they could provide into the investigation, into the disappearance of General McCaslin.
And okay, General McCaslin, never mind. Well, I was going to say, with Ohio is one of the easiest states to get FOIAs from. General McCaslin is not in
the privacy.
He's not in Ohio, is he? I don't think he's in Ohio. That's a whole different case. So more like the kids were slaves, in my opinion. Oh, absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. So there is more that we've got to talk about here. Where do I start? There's a lot. There is a lot. That's the Trinity thing we'll get to. Now, behind another. Okay, that's the other home we'll get to. Let me find something else here and pull this up. Guys, make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button and doing all of that good stuff. Oh, there's more video as well. Look at this. Look at this. Check this out. Credit's going to go. Well, this is from the Siders Family Update. Look at this, y'all.
Check license plates. There's a S10. It's out front. This is the whole front of the house. As you see, they have a little tractor over here and a window covering up the side window. I'll tell you, this is our second time going in. It's very, very bad. It's very bad. Cockroaches are moving all over. All right, I'm covering my face. Looks like this might have been a room that the kids stayed in. That's what it looks like. There's baby dolls. I'm not gonna shit all over this floor. Look at this. Yeah, I know. I see this shit. Help on this floor. This is like inhumane. Oh, look. Yeah, I see this shit. Oh, that's so bad. Yeah. That's so bad. Hearing shit on this back.
What?
Oh, that's so bad. Yeah. That's so bad.
I mean, it was. I know. Makes you itchy again. You'd think they would want the kids in school so they wouldn't have to be bothered with them. You would get free school breakfast and lunch too. You would think, cheapskates, but you know, it makes you wonder, like, were they just too fucking lazy to get their ass up and send them to school? In my opinion, if anyone works for a delivery service, whoever gives a person stuff to deliver, vehicles need to be checked for cleanliness. I agree, Lynn. I agree. I think that, yeah. Right.
Shit on the step. Oh my God. From what the kids were saying, if you can see, there's cockroaches running all over. I think we go to this. There's the bathroom here.
It makes me itch.
The floor, you can see it's moving around. All right, there's the toilet.
Don't show me that shit. Ugh.
There's the freezer. Looks like there was some kind of milk in there.
Let's go back to that freezer. Okay. Oh, look at here, guys. That's heavy whipping cream. I know that from Kroger's. Those 3 bottles in the back right there, that's heavy whipping cream. And heavy whipping cream is very fattening, right? Why did they have that much heavy whipping cream? That's how they were feeding these kids. Vegetable oil, sugar, heavy whipping cream. Oh, Justin, don't start. You gag and I'll gag. It makes you wonder, right? Like, and I thought my house was... are cracking me up tonight. They probably knew if they sent them to school, someone would turn on them. And I mean, like, you know, I was saying the other day, Cher, that like there's no there's not a closet in there. There's no like clothes or anything. The milk jug does not have a lid on it. Honey, they all lost, all 4 of those adults lost their lid a long time ago. But look at that. I just noticed that heavy whipping cream. That is heavy whipping cream from Kroger, in my opinion. They did, Deborah.
There's the freezer. Looks like there was some kind of milk in there. Looks like some kind of bedroom. There's still a fan on and a heater. Looks like some kind of bedroom. Cockroaches everywhere. This looks like this is the living room. Dining room and living room. Oh yeah. Sounds like a car. No, it's not. This is the bedroom out front.
You know, I'm really surprised they have not secured this house yet. Like, I'm surprised they haven't boarded up the doors, boarded up the windows from people going in there. That's the inside of the fridge, yes. And they looked like they only had a gallon of milk lifted off and 3 bottles of heavy whipping cream. You couldn't get me to get back in my car. After I went in there, you could not get me to get back in my car with my clothes on, because I would be afraid there would be a roach on me, or roach eggs, or something. There's no way in Hades, heaven, or earth you would get me to get back in my car after that.
It's so bad. All right, we're out. The water works. Deep freezer. The water works. Here, I'll show you. Put the water on. It did have water. Look underneath.
Look. Water.
It did have water.
Right there. Ooh, mother chicken. Water. So they had electricity. Yeah. Apparently they had some water too. There was crime scene tape up and some of the windows were boarded up. Also, the front door was boarded. The front door was boarded up. They need hazmat suits? No fucking no. In my opinion, I thought it was secure. There was yellow tape around it. Yeah, but people go past.
Water. Look underneath.
Oh, fuck me. Did you? Oh, sorry. I jumped. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Did you just see the roaches? Watch the roaches start moving when they move the water.
Put the water on.
Watch this.
They did have water.
Look at those roaches go everywhere. He pulls his hand up after that. I would never go in that house. Me either, Tony. Me either. I don't think that's healthy for those people to be going in there. To breathe that. I mean, you could tell he's got his mouth covered and stuff, but I don't care. It's truly one of the. It is. I think it is the worst house I've ever seen. Ever seen. Yeah, technically they are. Yeah. No garbage can. It is a garbage can.
Alright. Yep. Well, let's get the fuck out of here. Come on. Whew.
And you see, it's hard for them to be in there just for that amount of time. Can you imagine living there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, for years? Those poor DoorDash customers that received deliveries from June. They said it was only like they only claimed like 3 or 4 deliveries cured from. How were they able to get in there? I mean, the other day they showed a video and the back door was just wide open. I'm surprised they haven't yet. I'm surprised they haven't. What did all these people, adults and teens, do all day? No idea. No idea. No clue. So, let me finish playing this.
Dan, this is the Hamden house. Come on, Dan. Come on. Come on, bro. Come on. Stop taking a shit in this toilet. All right, this is the Hamden house. It's bad. It's real bad. You can smell it from the outside. Oh my God. You know, talking about filth. That's inhumane. Listen, I've been poor all my life and I've never lived like that. That's, yeah. More than just lack of knowledge, being poor, that's inhumane. There's the 2 cars.
Yeah.
Check license plates. There's the S10. Out front.
Now, one of their family members in West Virginia, they ended up giving them one of those cars. Someone, this is a still shot, but look at the ceiling and stuff. Oh God, I'm itching. They said they were going to do pictures and they came across this picture missing. Do you think that the walls were already covered in cigarette smoke before Gary Sr. and Christina took over the house? It's very odd that it looks like the house was never set up to be a home. Because there was like a lot of like the tobacco, like the big bags of tobacco or whatever. The ceiling is a landlord issue, but we're talking about like the smoke and stuff. You know how like smoke will make things, you know, like the collar off. The photos appear to show dirty toys, little to no food in the refrigerator. Okay, look at this. Look at this one. Oh, let me see if there's anything else right there. We did not know Okay, yeah, look at this. Gillette County, Ohio. Months before investigators said they found 16 children living in horrific conditions in Benton County, records show the Siders family left behind another home along with unanswered questions. I've got the interview I'm going to show you in a second. Quote, we did not know they had even left for quite a while. It was kind of just an empty house, I guess. Left a mess and not really in that great of condition, end quote, said Melissa Edmonds, a neighbor in Gillette County. Yeah, so wait till you see this. The neighbors who
we know that life is
point this out. It's quite interesting after the ad here. I don't know how a baby survives in there. I mean, it just kind of shows you
I'm here.
the human condition. We're going to go to ABC6. Credit goes to ABC6. Okay.
In Gallia County, taking a closer look at where the Siders family lived before relocating to a home in Benton County where investigators say 16 children were rescued from deplorable conditions. Months before investigators say they found 16 children living in horrific conditions in Benton County, records show the Siders family left behind another home along with unanswered questions.
We didn't know they'd even left for quite a while. It was kind of just an empty house, I guess. Left a mess. Not really that great a condition.
ABC6 uncovered.
So that is their old neighbor. We've got a few pictures to houses that they lived at before. Let's not forget how much laundry they must have had. They had none. None, Susan. Zilch. Those kids wore what they wore. There was not even a closet with clothes in it. I know, and I'm itching everywhere now.
3 birth records showing members of the Siders family were living at a home on this street near Cheshire in Gallia County between 2020 and 2024. Melissa Edmonds lives just down the street. She says she never saw the kids, but her nephew did play with some of them a few years ago.
My sister-in-law told me that their kids had talked to them, but they didn't really know them either. Like, they didn't.
So nobody really, they apparently didn't really socialize with anybody, like any of their neighbors or anything, but she said her nephew played with, I guess, some of the kids. How did she say that?
With some of them a few years ago.
My sister-in-law told me that their kids had talked to them, but they didn't really know them either. Like, they didn't hang out with them or anything.
And what year was that?
Possibly 2021, summer 2022, somewhere in that area.
ABC6 also obtained juvenile court records for 6 of the children. They showed the children were enrolled at Attaville Elementary School in Gallia.
Well, I don't think so, because, you know, that was a big question, but from what I understand, she stayed pregnant, had 3 or 4 sets of twins in a row, and they all have birth certificates from what I understand.
The county. But during the 2021-2022 school year, truancy complaints stated that they had not attended school for months. Those truancy cases were later closed in January of 2022 because court records stated the family could not be located and could not be served.
You have reached dispatch for the Gallia County Sheriff's Office.
I know, Green Eyes.
That raises the question, did anyone try to find the family? ABC6 asked the Gallia County Sheriff's Office whether deputies followed up after the children could not be located. So far, we have not received a...
There's not even, look there, there's not even doorknobs on that door there. You see that? Where's the damn doorknobs? Can anyone confirm that there was only one boy and the rest were girls? No, I've not heard that, but I don't know. I've not heard that. Have you heard that, Baby Monkey?
Response.
They just kind of stayed inside and stayed to themselves.
While it is not clear when the Siders moved from Gallia to Vinton County, investigators said this month that the 16 victims stayed inside a 12 by 12 room in the village of Hamden for most of the last 4 years.
So, I mean, this situation was clearly getting worse. It was clearly getting worse because the last 4 years, they stayed in that 12 by 12 room. And it's like, you know, why did they stop letting them at least play outside? I haven't heard genders either. Hey, Ratui. Hey, Deb. Have you seen the pictures of them being booked in the jail? The four of them, the one when she's Elizabeth, she's just got a blank stare on her face, like that one. Those. NorCal says mostly girls, but a few boys. The brother made a statement today defending them. I forgot where I read it. I might have that. I don't know. Got so much on this one today. When you're pregnant, you have to take prenatal vitamins. You have to have enough folic acid, otherwise it gets me. Burning up from heat and not even a fan. I mean, Ohio, it's hot of the summer and it's cold, cold, cold of the winter. Hey, darling, good to see you. 12 by 12 room, eating the bugs and drywall. It's so bad. Yeah, if you want to send them, I probably have shown it, but yeah, I'll look at it and see if I've seen it or not, if I showed it. Thank you, my love. I think the 5th child is a boy, a set of fraternal twin boys, girls, and twin. Okay, I just Googled and says the sexes have not been confirmed. Yeah, I just have their initials. I have their birth dates, but and that's it. He said a $300,000 bail. Elizabeth requested to get it reduced. I don't think authorities have not released exact genders yet. I don't either. I really don't, because the kids wanted to run away, broke windows, pulling down. I bet you the older ones did. Kids will find a way. They were probably afraid that they were going to get out and someone would, what's the case in California? The family, how the one teen escaped. That's probably what they thought was going to happen. Thank you, my dear. Let me look at that. Oh, no, I actually have not seen these photos. Let me finish playing this.
Property records show a new owner bought the Gallia County house in May of this year. We found Bruce Golick renovating the
Turbines.
home. He says what he found inside suggests the conditions investigators described in Vinton County may have not started there.
Yeah, a lot of kids' clothes in the attic, stuff.
Okay, so in this house that they lived at prior, they had kid clothes in the attic.
The way like someone was like living up in there, and the whole entire house was just urine and human and cat feces. So
oh wow!
On your side in Gallia County,
they must have had cats then. Eek. So thank you, Rajui, for this. Check this out, guys. Here's Elizabeth Siders being checked in. You know, like I said the other day, I said, this is probably a relief for, like, they can spend the rest of their days in prison and get 3 hots and a cod and live in a clean cell. I never want to go to prison, but I've never been to jail, but I would rather be in jail than that fucking place any day of the week. Any day of the week. Look here. I bet you they absolutely reeked. 3 hots and a cot. Yep. I'm the youngest of 6. I couldn't imagine 16. No. Is this Elizabeth or is this the mother-in-law? Thank you, Mini Panthers. Appreciate you, darling. They seemed to be living normal kids. They seem to be living normal kids outside, attend school. Something happened to cause such a drastic decline, in my opinion. I think it just became more and more kids. I think that was the decline. Maybe financial as well. Gary Sr., he had that stroke as well, but I don't know. Well, you know, that's, yeah, exactly. 10 kids could do chores and 4 adults could, in my opinion. Not a big house. And you would think that, you know, you usually have your kids to do chores, right? Like, you're a teenager, get up, do something. But it's hard for, you know, a teenager to do something whenever the parents won't or the adults won't. Did they have a place to cook? No, they didn't have shit. Nothing. Taking air samples or checking for bugs in that pic. Yeah. But is this what I wanted? Let me see. Is this Elizabeth or is this the older one? I think that's Elizabeth. Compared to the house, jail is a palace. Yes. My mom told us a million times, what do you think I had kids for? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. She is pregnant. She absolutely is pregnant, which is not a shock. She was always pregnant. She's always pregnant. Status, married. Number of children, it says 18. Credit goes to Plunder for this on Facebook. 7126. 18 kids? That's right, because she allegedly has 2 more kids from, God, I'm itching, from before Gary Siders Jr. I do not see her as a lot of people don't. The kids won't know what to think getting I mean, they're going to have to be reintroduced to food. Even, you know, you just can't start feeding them as much as they want, but I'm sorry, Gina, that's rough. I know. Yeah, conjoined. They were conjoined. She has the twins, but they don't count the deceased children, though, do they? I don't think they count the deceased children, do they? I heard that Elizabeth has done nothing but ask about her kids and has received money and things in jail and has sent it all to the kids. Oh. You know, I have more. I have more compassion for Elizabeth than any of them because she was literally a kid having kids. So I don't know. This is the mofo. This is the mofo. I can't with him. I can't with him, guys. He makes me want to throw up. Yeah, they rescued 16. I think there was two more from earlier on. Soldier girl. How you doing, girl? She knew and allowed it. I know, I think she became conditioned though. All he wanted to do was keep her pregnant. He was afraid of losing. I was married to an older man and he made it normal to constantly be pregnant. Really? American woman. Yeah, I think it's like a jealousy thing or whatever. Let me see this one. Okay, here's Christina. Love one another, y'all. Well, you didn't love your grandkids, apparently. Okay, thank you. And here's Grandpa. Look at him. Hold on. Look at Junior. Boy, he's I tell you, I get pissed off. I'm getting pissed. He's got a belly, don't he? Got a belly. He looks like he ate just perfectly fine. And your kids. Oil, sugar, and heavy whipping cream. They rescued 16. She gave birth to 20. I think she should have asked for help. Turned him in because they were on the run. Then maybe she would have a chance. But she did nothing. She did nothing. I mean, I think that she should absolutely be held accountable as well. But I think the person that was... someone's got to be more involved than the other one, I think. Yeah, but, you know, he was marrying his kids off as teenagers too. So that kind of, like, I always kind of had a little bit more compassion for him. But now I'm not really sure I do anymore because of the simple fact that he was truly marrying his kids off. Now, he allegedly fell. He's in the hospital or something. But was he in the hospital, or was he in a wheelchair prior to this? Was he in a wheelchair prior to this? Was it a cult? I don't think so. I think they're just lazy, backwards. Yeah, thank God. I don't think she knew what she was in for when she started to marry him. Well, allegedly, when they first got together, I guess they lived in trailers in the same trailer park, and she would allegedly run away all the time from her home and go to Gary Jr.'s. There's photos of him standing up. Oh, damn. 1 second. can't with him. I really can't. He makes me just want to hurl. Okay, there he is there. I bet you, like, the people there could not get the smell out of their jail. Gave that to him. Gave him what? Oh, the wheelchair? You see him standing outside the police van, and then when he's being searched, he's standing. Gary Jr. and Elizabeth are third cousins, and her parents emancipated her so she could marry. Yeah. West Virginia had. Oh, I think he absolutely abused her. I don't think there's a question about that. I think he absolutely abused Elizabeth. And there's some more. I'm looking for something. I'll show you here in just a second. I just can't even imagine what he's doing something with his hand there. I can't even imagine. Oh, there he is standing. What the police people thought. Okay, I got your video. That's awesome. Thank you for that. I wonder, like, are they okay? Why are you showing Grandpa's ass? I don't think they realize that. They're showing Grandpa's ass there. Okay. Well, he's pulling up his pants now. Wheeling Grandpa away. Married. Number of children, 5. Born in April 20th or April 19th, April 19th, 1953. Married, 5 kids. She's born in 58. 16 kids. Okay, look at this. Very interesting, right? It says he has 16 kids. It says she has 18 kids. So she had, see, that makes me think she was even more abused. That makes me even think she's more abused. Because she was with him when she was, what, 15? And she had 2 kids already? Which, you know, Elizabeth, they said she had a very rough life in the beginning. Is it possible that Gary Sr. and Gary Jr. impregnated Elizabeth? There is nothing. Once they, I'm sure, do DNA on all of these, there is nothing that would surprise me. Zilch. Nothing. Nothing. I mean, you got to realize there was 18-year-olds and 18-month-olds all the way down to 18 months in the same room. One's counting the deceased. See, I heard she might have had kids before she was with the Gary. I don't know. I don't know. People are, I look deeper into that. People are saying different things. I need to look deeper into that. Never thought of that, but yeah. Gross having food in the car. Oh my God. Yeah. She ran off with him when she was 13 because her mom didn't approve. See, I'm just hearing different things. It's weird. I'm not trying to take up for her, but you can see in her eyes, she's got a lot of pain. I don't know how her body stayed together. I don't know how anybody's body stays together after having 16, 18 kids, man. Yep. Don't tell your white horsey. I read her firstborn was given to the biological father's side, Gary. Yeah, Justin, this is spousal abuse, in my opinion. He got her pregnant underage and kept her getting. Yeah, And again, Gary Sr., he has 5 total kids, 4 others, and he married them off when they were teenagers. If you're just joining us, I showed earlier where this guy, this is Gary Jr.'s sister, Richard Eugene Siders, but she married more teen brides in the Siders family, according to records first cited by a local outlet, the Columbia Dispatch. This is 48-year-old Richard Siders, Gary Siders Sr.'s cousin. He married a 14-year-old Tessie Wright, who was also pregnant in Gallia County, Ohio in 2002. In 2003, also in Gallia County, 15-year-old Virginia Siders married Joshua Saunders. Virginia is the sister of Gary Siders Jr. and daughter of Christina Lynn Siders, according to Faith. Tessie from his obituary. Big age difference. I think there's another one too. I think there's a third one that kind of got married really young as well. So kind of credit's going to go to C.G. Hanan. C.G. Hanan credit goes to. Look at this. She looks extremely timid, in my opinion. Hey, Sassy. Yeah, 501. It seems that way. You'd have to be rich to support 16 kids. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I said, Bobby. He's got a big old, belly. Love you, little red. Hey, Sassy. She couldn't ask for a contraceptive injection without telling anyone unless it was a religious reason. It's crazy. That's fucking crazy. I'm sorry. That's crazy. I think it's insane that you have to ask your husband for a contraceptive, even if you're married. I think it's nuts. I think that's nuts because a man can get fixed. Shoot blanks. So come on now. Like, why can't a woman ask for a contraceptive? I doubt she was ever on her own to be able to ask for help. Baby monkey. Eek, it's so bad. Champagne wishes on sugar water budget. Yeah. Oh, he did. He did, Tony. She needs to be taught how to cook and clean, basically love. And yeah, but I think she's going to probably go to, jail or prison. Some women are forced to have the husband in for checkups during pregnancy because they are so controlling. Oh, he wouldn't. Yeah. Let me show you this now. Okay. Check this out. Let me find it. An extended relative of the Siders family made a public post talking about what's going on. She also shared some photos of Elizabeth Siders before she was married to Gary Siders. Obviously, I've shown some of those. You can tell she's just real timid there. I don't know. I just don't think Elizabeth has ever had a life at all. All right, look at this. People all over the USA right now keep saying, oh my God, how does this even happen? Most people can't fathom, and I really wish I couldn't either. But here's my idea. This is supposedly, I guess, a family member or something. Generational poverty, deeply embedded trauma, mental illness, and systematic failure by other people and community members, all mixed into one big horrible mess. Maybe I'm wrong to believe this, but I think with only a couple exceptions in this particular case, like the tremendous amount of kids they had actual living in conditions these poor kids were in, and the fact that the children were basically hidden away in a 12 by 12 room, all the rest of this story, there are very similar situations all over the area, and most people turn a blind eye to it. From the child marriage to incest relationships, being entirely uneducated, living in total filth and in extreme poverty. It's also pretty much normal to a lot of people. I personally think it's almost like it's deeply embedded. It's the culture down there, and not just that particular area, but in lots of Appalachia and other places all over the country. Okay, I don't think this one is the one with the family member, but I born, raised, grew up in Appalachia. Now, I'm a little bit different than a lot of Appalachians. I came out like a ballerina out of my mother's womb and singing with a purse fell out of my mouth. And so, I wasn't the average guy in the family for sure. But in Appalachia, I think it's poverty. I think it's poverty. A lot of it. And some of it can be lack of education, but most people don't live like this at all. So I think she's kind of given a little bit of a bad name. That's the way I kind of read it, but that's just me. I don't know. Are there, I don't think it's overlooked. I mean, obviously there are people out there that have that it might be overlooked, but I just don't think it's people are overlooking like they're saying like it's absolutely everywhere. No, it's not. I've literally been all over the world, and there is a lot of poor areas and stuff like that, but even most of the poor people take care of the stuff that they have, the little bit that they do have. Where was that? Okay. It's sad, but it's a lot of cracks and corners all over America, and I for real think it's from several generations. Okay. It seems in most situations, all too often, people are quick to laugh and talk shit about, always slow to step up and say and or do something in uncomfortable situations. And that's what has to stop. Normalizing horrible situations and truly bizarre behavior has to stop. I agree with that part. You see something, you need to say something. It's really, listen. And this is where, I kind of like, yeah, you need to see something, you need to say something. Sometimes people will just try to help out the family. Like the people at the Dollar General, they gave them allegedly like hygiene, but they didn't use it. So if you don't use it, 1,000%. Absolutely. 1,000%. Oh, Lisa, I mean, the Catholic Church, I don't even know if they'll still do birth control. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I don't want to get into all that. Joe, stop. Religion or politics. I just said that, but I'm being a hypocrite right there because don't start with the religion and politics, please. Not all of us are lucky or strong or smart enough to even start to find the tools that are of us who do are extremely rare and few in betweens. So the best thing you can do for your children is give them an education. Give them an education. That's the greatest gift you can give them, especially if a struggling family, right? Knowledge is power, and educating them can lift them out of poverty. So yeah. So here is this one right here, and it says, this is Tiffany Saunders, and she says, I'm making this post for the sake of truth and truth only, but for clarity, I'll go ahead and say this about the situation, then I'm moving on because I have to. A lot of you know that Lynn, aka Christina Siders, is my grandma Diana's first cousin. Elizabeth Siders Russell is also my daughter's first cousin due to her, for lack of a better word, sperm donor side of her DNA. My daughter's donor and Elizabeth's mom are siblings. There are some pictures of Elizabeth that I took right before or right around the time her and Gary Jr. met, when she had her whole life ahead of her. Well, part of me wonders if she wasn't mentally conditioned to think this was okay. The mom in me knows it doesn't matter because there's absolutely no excuse for dragging your kids or any human through your BS to this degree. In my opinion, she's guilty to an extent simply because she is an adult. The justice system will handle the situation however it sees fit. I'm cool with that, she says. But I feel like this also needs to be said. Lots of people failed those babies, and they continue to fail lots of others all over, in keeping patterns continuing and not intervening when things aren't quite right. Kind of like see something, say something, or even, see something, do something. And there's Elizabeth there. Not that we're aware of, Shirley, but like I said, I'm sure that they will be doing DNA testing, and you know that they're going to check. Nothing would surprise me. All you need is Jesus and a mop. That's right. That's right. And I was going to say, you said Jesus and a mop. I was going to say Jesus and don't be a hoe. She came into the family as a child herself. Hell yeah, she did. 1,000%. I agree with that, Soldier and Joe. Just, yeah. Okay, let me show you this. This is from WBNS Columbus. What is this? Oh, this is the complaint against the parent, guardian, or other persons. Okay. I think I showed that. Okay, we're going to go to WBNS 10 TV. Credit goes to WBNS 10 TV.
Birth certificate.
WBNS. Kind of like mind your business, WBNS.
It's for 15 of the 16 Siders children that were removed from their family's home in Hamden, Ohio, now about 2 weeks ago. And these birth certificates show us that each of these children were born, in fact, in hospitals. So from 2008 to 2022,
all of them were born in the hospital. To be honest with you, that's surprising to me. That's very surprising to me. You just wouldn't think that they were all born in a hospital.
Elizabeth Siders gave birth to the children all at the same hospital, Holzer.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 at Holzer, 1 at Riverside, and 2 at and we're Athens. I don't know how you pronounce it. Oblis Hospital. Did the hospital see there was a problem? No, I don't guess. Well, that's a good question, Lisa, right? It makes you wonder, but just because you go to the hospital for delivery doesn't mean you have prenatal care either, right? Doesn't mean you have prenatal care. It just doesn't. Most people have prenatal care and they go to the hospital. They schedule a delivery, or, their OBGYN is ready. But it makes me wonder, did these kids even have a pediatrician? They moved around a lot. You are super late on this one. I got wrapped up in court and missed in furry audio. Miss Eureka. Who cares if you had court? I was live. Good to see you, Miss Eureka. It's okay, baby. Good to see you. They did wrong by those children. That hospital harmed those kids by not reporting it. CBS upsets me. Yeah. It was a book. I'm not a book. I saw she used a midwife. Yeah. No care, no vaccines, maybe either. Maybe not. I love a good audiobook. Sounds like a bunch of rabbits, in my opinion, but that's okay. But here's the thing. I don't think Elizabeth, I bet you Elizabeth probably every time that man got on top of her, she was probably like, another 9 months of this. Another 9 months of this. But Justin, it makes me want, you would think, but it makes me wonder, did she get all cleaned up? Did she get all cleaned up? Is that the time when they would clean her up? More like, I think they produce faster than rabbits. I think they, like roaches, like seriously, like they just, like, how do you have like 3 or 4 sets of twins in a row? I don't even understand that. That it might be an argument that they use for court. Justin, I'll be interested to find out if religious beliefs play any part in their choices or decisions. I think in some cases it does. I just don't think in this case that's going to be, it might be an argument for, court or trial or whatever. But, I don't know of a religion that makes you be filthy. You think, a lot of people thinks like Ruggs or mental illness. The only one I think is mental, I don't think he's mental, I think he's evil, is Gary Jr. And this is the one time I don't think they were on Ruggs. I don't think they could afford it. I don't think they ran around all day, trying to get, or whatever. No religion in chat. Mods, can y'all spray Joe with the, or members, can y'all spray Joe with the bottles that's made specifically for him for this chat? I think it was just jealousy and to keep her pregnant and just pure ass laziness. Just exhausted from being pregnant so much and having dozens of kids. Age was only 15 and 18 kids. Her eyes seemed like she was abused too. Yeah. Love you, Miss Dolores. Hi, darling. Thank you, Mama. Appreciate you. Very kind to me. Thank you very much for your support, my dear. Mamacitas. I don't know. Think Ruggs. I don't know. But you think they were? I don't know. I just don't think so in this. I just don't think so in this case, but I could be wrong. Yeah. Yep. I do. Yep. Lady Jane C. Yep. I do believe that 1,000%. You could tell by looking at her that she is physically ill. Like, I don't even know how. It's amazing to me that the human body is capable of creating, 16, 18 kids in just a few amount of years, and then having, was it 3 or 4 sets of twins, one after another. You do not. Yeah. I don't either. I said the other day, kind of jokingly, might be in bad taste or whatever, but just to try to lighten the mood up a little bit, I was thinking, like, is there something to that oil and sugar and heavy whipping cream that, like, is a fertility thing? Like, I just don't understand how anybody has like 3 or 4 sets of twins, 4 sets of twins in a row.
In Gallipolis, Ohio. Then, if you remember, the twins that were born later in 2022, they were born over at Riverside Hospital. That's the set of twins that were born. They were born conjoined, and they only lived for 1 hour. They died an hour after they were born. So until then, all of the children had been born at the same hospital. So after the set of twins passed away,
but being conjoined is a rare thing.
Gave birth to 2 more sets of twins in 2024 and 2025 at Oblenis Hospital in Athens. So also on each of these birth certificates, it shows the address that the family listed as their home at the time. As we know from law enforcement, they said that the family moved around quite a bit, and that does reflect the addresses that they shared on these birth records as well. But from 2008 to 2020, they listed addresses in Gallia County, Ohio. Now that's around where the Holzer Gallipolis Hospital is as well. So 2008, they had a home address in Gallipolis. Then from 2009 to 2017, they lived at a home in Bidwell, also in Gallia County. Then 2019, we have a new address, also in Gallipolis. 2020, a different address. That is in Cheshire, which is also in Gallia County. Then there's some questions about what happened in 2022. So they listed an address here for Bloomer, Wisconsin. But then 2 years later, the other set of twins was born, and they list that
Bloomer, Wisconsin. You need to get out of her bloomers, sir.
That same address in Cheshire that they listed in 2020. So we're only showing these addresses because these are not the current addresses of this family. They don't live there anymore. And then 2025, another set of twins were born, and they list their home address as a home on Main Street in Hamden. Now that's just down the street from the home where these children were removed, but they were removed from a home on Omer Street. And this kind of brings forth some more questions because authorities had been saying that they believed that the children were living inside.
Because we're nosy, but you just made me think, Ratui, those babies were obviously malnourished in the womb. It makes me wonder, like, how much the babies were when they were born, like how much they weighed. I get that. I get it. And to me, that, like I said, Finding Dory, I would not want to be a jury in Elizabeth's case. I really wouldn't. I would not want to be a jury in Elizabeth's case. Because it would probably take me a long time to really find a decision on that. Because she was a teenager having kids. And even though teenagers think that they know it all, and think that they can, play house and be a mommy and stuff, your brain is just not there. And then I think of the conditioning that she did have. And, every single day you are conditioned, you start a new life, a new cycle, in days and years and months and years roll by. And then I also think you're a fucking adult. You know that y'all are not living right. And I think your kids, 2 of your kids was laying there almost dead. How did someone not get their ass up and call 911? You know what I mean? Like, how could you not get your ass up when 2 of your kids are like hours away from death? So I am really torn with Elizabeth, very torn. I really don't know how. I just don't know. And I usually have an opinion about everything. They were life flighted. Yes. Yes. And what bothers me is they were actively trying to stay below the radar. Right? That's what bothers me, is they were trying to stay below the radar, which tells me they knew it was wrong. They knew it was wrong. For instance, what's the family in West Virginia? I spoke about this the other day. They're inbred. Off grid, yeah. I'll wait till someone puts it in chat. Whitakers, thank you. The Whitaker family, they're different, in my opinion. And the reason they're different is because they didn't know. They did not know, they didn't try to conceal who they were. They were who they were. They suffered from genetic issues, breeding. Now you think of the family, the Turbin family in California. They were actively hiding. They were a little bit different. They were actively showing that they were, a picturesque family, but were being cruel to those kids and concealing. It's the concealment for me that gives me a big problem. The concealment. It's the saying, crazy people don't know they're crazy. So they don't hide, they don't conceal. If you're actively concealing something, you know better. Those kids were in crates, yeah. So that's the problem I have, with it. And then others that thinks that Elizabeth should be held just as much accountable. She's the mother. Your mother is supposed to take care of you. So it's a very complex. There's just no easy answer, in my opinion. I do think Elizabeth should get a little bit less, at least. But I think the other three, particularly Siders Jr. and Christina, his mother, throw away the key as far as I'm concerned on those two. And I think, in my opinion, I would probably give Senior, I don't even know if he'll last until trial, to be honest with you, the way his health is. And he supposedly got dementia. Jessica says, exactly, Justin. Really, mother would have gotten them right out of there. I agree. My God, yes, the Turbin kids that were sent to more monsters and further abused. Yeah. Those kids were like, if you watch the interviews of them, they cared so much for each other, siblings. And then they went to, they were this, I mean, the Turbin kids, their parents failed them, abused them, neglected them to the extremes. And then the system failed them. The people that is supposed to lift them up out of the abuse, neglect, trauma, all of that stuff, threw them right back in. And they're not, I mean, let's be real. There's people in the system that are foster parents that are horrible themselves, because the foster care system is stretched to the ends of the earth, and some people just do it for a check.
That Omer home for the last 4 years or so, but back in 2025, when the last children were born, they listed a different address. So in addition to these birth records, we also got some records back from the Gallia County juvenile court system that show that at one point these children were being tracked by a school district. So October 2021, the school district said that the children hadn't shown up for a single day of that school year, which would have been in session for several weeks at that point. And they tried to serve truancy notices to Elizabeth, Gary, and 6 of the oldest children. But when they went to serve those notices, they said that there was no one living at that home, so they couldn't find them. January 2022, there's a follow-up that said the matters were terminated because they could not locate their whereabouts. So what happened? Where did they go? According to the birth records in 2022, the family had listed an address in Bloomer, Wisconsin. So I called the property owner there, and he said that no one was living at that property in 2022. He said it had been vacant since 2017 and had been demolished around 2021, 2022. He also didn't recognize Elizabeth or Gary and said they would have known if there was a family at that time of about 14 that would have been living there. They would have known. So that's a question. Where did this address come from? Did the school district believe that the family was living in Wisconsin? The school district can't answer those questions because of...
Thank you, Sassy. Thank you so much. Toward the goal. Love you, Justin. Love you too, Miss Sass. Thank you, babies. Appreciate you very, very much, my love. Very kind of you. Thank you so much. Hey, Batgirl. Good to see you, honey. They've had her since she was 13. It would be easy to brainwash. And you're right. You're absolutely right. This kid already, Elizabeth already came from a broken home, right? And to be honest with you, Gary Jr. came from a broken home as well, essentially. I'm curious to what her IQ is. I think she only had like a 7th grade education. But, like I was saying, our brain is still very much growing. 13, she's barely at puberty at that age. And the more young you are, the more impressionable you are, right? And so her mind is still being conditioned at that age, and that to me adds in a lot of the factor of why I feel bad for her. And that's why a lot of people are saying victim or perpetrator, and that's why I personally don't think there is just an easy answer for specifically Elizabeth.
Privacy reasons, but it does appear that the family never re-enrolled the Siders children into school. When they were living in Hamden, we checked with the local Vinton County School District. They said there is no record of the children ever attending there. And we know that when they were moved, the law enforcement officials said that they were not in school. So a lot of questions from these birth and school records still. We are trying to get you answers. We will keep you updated as we learn more.
Okay, so more video that's out with old Junior in the right here. Oh wait, here it is. Them walking in. They're wheeling Senior in. Yeah. I mean, I grew up very close to the Ohio River, right? Right on the border of Ohio and West Virginia, that area. And they ain't more backward than anybody else, in my opinion. Why are they blurring his face? My God. I think that maybe it could be medical now because he's in the hospital. That's the only reason I can think of. I wonder if prosecutors will add on charges to Gary G. Oh, yeah. Nope. They won't. They won't because it was legal to do. It was legal to do. No. They won't. I wish law enforcement had more authority to find children who seemingly disappear to ensure their safety. They're too vulnerable and don't have a voice. Yep. Not all foster parents are good. I knew 1 year ago. Years ago, I think it's what you mean, and she treated them bad. But her own kid's good. I reported her after I saw her leave a foster baby in a hot car while her own had a ball game. Yeah, and that's what I said. Some of them just do it for a check. Yeah. I absolutely know where Point Pleasant is. Absolutely. Yep. Sure do. Sure do. Grew up very close to there. Looks like only grandma had shoes on, the rest were wearing jail slides. Yeah, grandma looked like she had like a shirt with some text on it or something. Another question I have is, has she always been confined and watched by Gary like that, or was it ever different? Fair question. I think he was just fucking jealous. I'm so sorry you lived through that. But why have all of them in one filthy room? You know, this is something that probably documentaries are going to be made on, just like the Turban family, books, shows. There's no problem. Yeah. Yeah, I wondered that. I mean, you didn't even know where the... Okay, so, yeah. Right? Like, there was no really sense of privacy in that house, right? I mean, there was feces and urine and roaches and rats and everything else everywhere. I didn't even in the other rooms, I didn't even see a bed, right? For like the grandfather or the old man senior, Christina. I don't know. Exactly, Justin. I understand being traumatized, but why allow your children to suffer and be hours away from death? Why allow your kids to starve? Most of us think, oh, damn, we want it better than our kids had it. Or we want our kids to have it better than we had it. I guess some people just absolutely become conditioned. I don't know. I really don't know. What's this? Where's this at? Hold on 1 second. Let me check. I've not seen this. Give me a second, guys. See if I can get a transcript on this. Ask a question. Why is it not working? Okay. Give me a second. I'm trying to get a summary on this. This live stream features the brother of Elizabeth Siders along with his wife Nikki discussing the ongoing legal situation. Concerns for Elizabeth. Joey and Nikki expressed deep concerns for Elizabeth, noting that care packages were sent to her jail were requested by her to give to her children. They believe Elizabeth may be suffering from Stockholm syndrome due to the years of abuse and that she does not realize she is a victim. They are pushing for psychiatric evaluation, which they feel her current attorney is not adequately pursuing. The family is highly critical of Elizabeth's court-appointed attorney, alleging that he is inexperienced in failing to communicate effectively with the family while giving public interviews, that they may feel harm her defense. They are considering looking for a new pro bono family attorney with experience in trauma cases. Family background and environment. Joey describes Elizabeth as having been a vibrant, friendly teenager and a cheerleader before she was involved in her current relationship. He emphasizes that the rural, impoverished environment where they grew up significantly influenced their life path. Joey and Nikki also warned viewers against donating to an unauthorized GoFundMe pages or unofficial cash apps claiming to support Elizabeth. They advise any support should be directed through the official jail channels for commission, or books. Joey's personal experience. Joey shares his own experience with the prison system, explaining the difficulty of accessing educational and rehabilitative programs due to the wait list, and provides updates on his current situations and parole while caring for his ailing father. I'm going to look more into that. Interesting. Right. Okay. This was done underhandedly. They kept him out of school. That's, yeah. Yep. By the way, speaking of, if you want to donate to the children, this is from the Siders Family Updates group. Okay, this is a letter sent to me in my personal email. Also, for any kind enough to donate, she sent me a form. The form, if possible, can be filled out and emailed back to her. She said she would like to send out thank you cards to everyone donating, or at least say thank you to their Facebook. This is the email. I will attach the wish list again. And it's through the Southern Central Ohio Job and Family Services, suggesting for donation toys, art supplies, journaling, scrapbook items, fidget toys, magnet tiles, that kind of thing. And there is that. So I'll drop this in the thing for the chat. It's going to take a lot there's a lot of court appearances and documents to have a court-appointed lawyer removed. I think he was a good lawyer. I think he seems like he was a jerk, and he seemed like a good guy, like a good lawyer. You know what I mean? That's the way I kind of thought of it. But I thought seemed like he was more taking up for her than most, court-appointed lawyers.
18 years. In 2008, both Elizabeth Siders and Gary Lee Siders Jr. lived in Gallia County. According to records, Elizabeth and Gary lived in a trailer park off Bulleville Pike. This is the same trailer park that the two were living in separately on the day they were married in March 2008. The couple was then recorded in Gallia County.
I just thought of a joke. Do y'all want to hear it? To make things a little lighter, put a 1 in the chat if you want to hear it. When they said something, I just immediately thought of a joke. Put a 1 in the chat. She will be 50 by the time she realizes that wasn't normal. Okay. You want to hear it? Okay. So they said something right here. They were both
Pike. This is the same trailer park that the two were living in separately on the day they were married in March 2008.
So they were both living in a trailer park, or living in a trailer separately when the day they got married. And what happens whenever two trailers become one? It becomes a double wide. Thank you. I'll be here all week. Thank you. Sorry. She has been conditioned to believe she wasn't victimized. Yeah, I agree with that. The day they got married, two trailers became one. That becomes a double wide. That automatically went in my head. Okay. Do I have anything else? Let me see here. Oh, yes, I do actually. Let me find this. There is the truancy thing. So the Columbus Dispatch. Oh God. I sometimes I just have to find some humor. If I don't, it's bad. Records reveal three teen marriages in family charged with use. Exclusive. Andy Wilson, Ohio Attorney General.
The father of two daughters. I got a 20-year-old and a 17-year-old. And as somebody who was a teenage boy at one point, I just don't think that that's a great idea, allowing children to get married. We don't allow kids to vote. We don't allow them to buy cigarettes or alcohol. Just a lot of things that as society we've said that, hey, kids are just not at the spot where we want them making some of these decisions. I think very generally I can just say that I'm not for young kids getting married. I'm certainly not for that. Very rarely does that work out well.
Okay, so 3 marriages. What's that? Okay, it's different. Okay, at least 3 members of the Siders family married as young teenagers, including the woman who bore at least 18 children in 17 years. According to state birth records and marriage records, Elizabeth Russell married Gary Siders Jr. in West Virginia when she was 15 years old. 2 months later, in May of 2008, the couple had their first of 18 children. In Ohio, Tessie Wright was 14 and pregnant when she married her 48-year-old boyfriend. I just cannot. Who is allowing, like, what pastor or state official is allowing a 14-year-old to marry a 48-year-old? I mean, I can marry people. I'm an ordained minister. And if someone came to me, a 48-year-old man, and said, I want to marry this 14-year-old, I would be like, I'm calling the cops now. Come here, honey. Get over here. We're calling the cops. In Ohio, Tessie Wright was 14 and pregnant. So not only was she 14, but she was pregnant, and she was married to 48-year-old Richard E. Siders in 2002. Virginia Siders was 15 when she married Joshua Saunders in 2003, according to state records. Both of those marriages happened in, Gallia? I say Gilla. I always say Gilla. Gallia County. Tessie Siders told the New York Times that her now deceased husband was Gary Siders Sr.'s cousin. Gary Siders Sr., Christina Siders, Gary Siders Jr., and Elizabeth Siders have pleaded not guilty to felony child endangerment charges. They are accused of holding 16 children in a 12-foot by 12-foot room, caked with feces, and trash for years. The case shines attention onto Ohio marriage laws and a campaign to raise the legal age to age 18. I think you need to be 25 until you marry in today's world. You need to be at least 25 until you marry. Yeah, I think 30, really. 30. It was just different back then. Today's world, you don't need to be getting married at such a young age. You know. I know, a lot of 40, 50, 60 years old people, they probably 50, 60, 70 years old people, they got married young, but it was a little bit different then it is now, in my opinion. They certainly wouldn't marry 14-year-olds, though. They might have both been a young couple and got married early. Damn. But not like this. Okay. Craziness. Absolute craziness. My God, my bonus kid is 14, and he is literally a kid, an immature child, imagining him with someone. Yeah, I mean, if you have had a 14-year-old or you have a 14-year-old, think about that. I was still playing with dolls at 13. I'm 40 and still playing with dolls. Thank you very much. I'm just kidding. Started going at study with my now husband at 40, and I'm 46. We married after I graduated high school at 18. Yep, a lot of people got, married young, but not to a 45-year-old. You know what I mean? I don't think as many realize that happens a lot. It was one of those first things I wondered when I heard they married her off at 15. The family, they get them married and pregnant early, way too early, in my opinion. He wanted to be, yeah, it is crazy. It's absolutely nuts. My 17-year-old sister married a 37-year-old man. It has not aged well. Well, my grandmother, she got married at 15, and my grandfather was 35 when he married her. My grandmother didn't want to marry him, though. She did it because of her parents and him. My grandma was just like the saint. She was just like, she got taken advantage of a lot. But she was together with him till death did them part, but she said she never loved him. She learned to love him the last few years of his life, but I also still play with dolls. I'm building the dollhouse I never had. My son set it up. That's awesome. Parents that don't care and alcoholics, yeah. But my grandmother, she would, if she was alive now, she would be 98. So it was, you know, big difference back then. It's still wrong in my opinion back then. My mom even admitted she never loved my dad, and that it was to get out of poverty because she came up poor. Well, my grandfather kind of threatened my grandmother to get married. It's like, that's a winner, Grandma. Yeah, I love my grandfather, but it's fucking weird. You know what I mean? At 20, I lived with male roommates, and my mother let it be known she did not approve and wouldn't support me. Never mind, married off in 9th and 10th grade. Jesus. Yeah. A lot of parents were just kids, you know. I mean, there's still a lot of kids having kids, you know what I mean? Yes, Justin, the resentment in their marriage is palpable for everyone, including their children. Yeah. Yeah, my grandparents raised me, and my grandpa was several years older than my grandma, and they lived happily ever after, and they never got remarried. Exact same Ash. Grandmother never got remarried. They was together till death did them part. They had 7 kids, but people also didn't divorce back then either. You know what I mean? So I would have wrung my grandpa's neck if I was my grandmother. Let me make sure I can show this. So this is interesting that, let me show you this. I just didn't want to give any information. Someone wrote this, and they said, this is Lily in London from X. One thing that is so strange, some of the older children had TikTok accounts. They also had, a couple of them had Facebook accounts. They posted videos filmed on their front porch. They also mentioned the death of the twins in 2021. And Gary Jr.'s sister was visiting the family in April. She was the one who gave updates to Elizabeth's parents about the kids. How did she visit the house and not see the kids and not ask where they are? On another note, it's such a small world. When the Siders lived in Pike County, they only lived 25 minutes away from the Roden unalivers crime scene. And then we have that, but that's not the action. I want to show you this picture, actually. This is a photo. It's redacted, but this is a photo of one of the kids' TikToks, and it says hashtag FYP. They are my sisters. I didn't get to see them, but I'm sure they are very beautiful. Rest in peace. I'll miss you. Sad face. Rest in peace. Hashtag vent. Hashtag sad. Hashtag dove. Love. Hashtag dove. So they said the 18-year-old couldn't even spell their name. right? But some of them could clearly spell. Or maybe they did voice to text. I don't know. To me, that looks very sad. That makes me just really sad. This also tells me that the sibling cared for their siblings. It also tells me that the sibling cared for the siblings. Sorry, but I get a feeling Gary Jr. made those accounts. Maybe. Exactly. Now, supposedly a couple of the older ones may have had phones. So there's that as well. All right, guys. Thank you all so much for joining me. I do appreciate you. It's 12:50 in the morning. You don't have, that's what I said. Yeah. I was like, maybe voice to text. Maybe. It's sad that the children are mostly separated. Yeah. I don't know, Deborah. Maybe some of them could read more than others. Thank you, Ratui. Did they find posts from taking the phones, or how do we know the kids post? It's them. That's all some people knew. I can say that. Thank you, guys. Much love. They couldn't even afford the water bill. I don't know. It's odd because they were taking pictures for whatever site they were on. Someone had to see them. Someone had to know. Someone had to know. I had 2 cups of coffee, so I'm tired enough to fall asleep now. Well, before my last live, and I said I'll see you guys back in 5 minutes. I scheduled on the wrong channel, so I had to redo it all, and I went and had a cup of coffee too, so I could make it through this one. The kids can all work in the same clean, beautiful Joe. Spray Joe, y'all, please. Get the spray bottle out, members. I gotta watch you every day. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, honey. Appreciate you. They also live on a dead-end street with train tracks across the road. I'm sorry, but someone knew more. And I honestly think that they're afraid to come out and speak. Number one, I'm afraid that they think that they would be shamed. They should be, in my opinion. Number two, I think they're afraid that they might be charged with something. Good night, Joe. Behave yourself, young man. Yes, take care of those guinea pigs, Joe. Take care of those guinea pigs. Joe is a very good guinea pig daddy. He really is. Yeah. Canada. Lots of wildfires going on right now. Should be a no-brainer. 18-year-olds, huge life choices for yourself. Yeah, for yourself. Yeah. All right, guys. Love you all. Appreciate you. Get some rest. Take good care of yourselves. Justice for these 16 kids. Very sad. Hug your loved ones. You only get so many trips around the sun. Good night, everyone.